Good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? I'm going to do this super quick, try to be quick, eyebrow video for you guys. Some do's and don'ts, okay? I have to be fast. I got a lot going on today, but I wanted to do this video for you guys. So let me just share this to my page and then we'll talk about it. But I'm going to go over, I don't want to offend anybody because these are my eyebrow do's and don'ts. So if you do the don'ts and you like it that way, then that's totally fine. I'm not saying you can't do eyebrows any other way. I'm just saying that I have people ask me all the time how I do mine. So I want to show you guys and compare it to what I've found doesn't work for me and what does. And what I have discovered looks more natural and what doesn't. So let me just share this and we can move on. But I just want to throw that out there that I'm not trying to tell people that they're doing eyebrows wrong, because you do them how you like to do them, okay? But I didn't get on yesterday. I wanted to get on today. I'm not going to do my makeup. I'm just doing my eyebrows. We got a lot going on today, and I'm going to be outside a lot. So does it look like I got some color? Does my face look darker at all? Because I've been outside a lot this weekend. So we've been out doing yard work. All right, so let's start. I didn't plan this very well. I probably should have been more prepared on what exactly I wanted to make sure I emphasize to you guys about my eyebrows, but we're just going to wing it and we're going to hopefully not take that long. So I was going to use Unique's brow pencil, but I think instead I'm going to use this one from the drugstore because it is, it's almost out, but it is thicker. It's like a really thick brow pencil. And so you'll kind of get what I'm saying on the don't side if I use this one versus our thin Unique pencil. Can you kind of see the difference, how thick that one is? So I just feel like it's a lot easier to make mistakes with the thicker pen. Hey, Tiara. Good morning. Good morning. It's just easier to make mistakes with this, I feel like. So we're going to use this one. God forbid that we don't run out. Let me clean my eyebrow brush because we are about to get a lot of product on this sucker today. So if you're hopping on, say hi. Like I said, I'm going to try to be quick because we have a lot going on at our house today. And I'll be posting pictures in the next couple of days because it'll be done soon. But we are starting a project at the house and we are super excited. And so I'm going to be outside a lot today, hopefully helping and dealing with it. Okay, so let's do this is the good eyebrow. This one will be the bad one. Okay, do's, don'ts. And like I said, we're going to use this. So, morning. Thank you for watching me. How are your sweet little puppies, Tira? Are they as mean as ever this morning? Okay. All right, so I got the two things that I need. Pencil, pomade, always use those. And obviously my eyebrow brush. So we're going to take the pencil, brush your eyebrows up. Okay, let's do this because I never don't do this. So on the don't side, just put my brows back the way they were. I always brush my brows up. It helps me, especially with the bottom, see where my natural, the bottom of my brow is. So that one, we're not going to do it. We'll see how it goes. I've never done that before, but I'm sure it won't look nearly as nice as this one. All right, like I said, I didn't plan this out very well, so I'll try to, as I go, think of things that I don't normally do and show them on this side and tell you why I wouldn't do those. So let's use this pencil. Go in on the good side. This is what I do. Go in with a really, really light hand, okay? So take your pencil, and this one is angled, tapered, I guess I should say. So if you look at it, can you tell it's like a little triangle? So the top part is thinner, the bottom part is fatter. So I always take the skinny part. If you have one shaped like this, I will say. Most of them are just are unique and it's all one little size and it's thin. But if you have one that's shaped almost like a triangle and it's thinner on one side and gets wider towards the bottom, I always take the skinny side and face it in, okay? And face the fatter side out, because I'll tell you, once I get to the tail, it'll be so much easier to make a skinny, thinner tail on the end than if I have the fatter side if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of how to explain that to you guys. Bella is still mean to me, but Gracie is sweet. Gracie is so cute. They're both cute, but Bella's bad. Okay, so I always underline my brow. And I go in with a super, super light hand. So, like, I wish you guys could tell just from watching me or feel how light my hand is. But, like, seriously, super light. I do not go in with a heavy hand. You don't want your eyebrows to be too dark. I mean, if you do want them to be super dark, that's fine. But I like to try to keep mine as natural as I possibly can. So going in with a light hand is super helpful. I literally am lining. That's part of the reason why I brushed my brow up, so I could totally see where the bottom of my brow is, and I'm following that line. If you don't have like a naturally good like line and you need to, like I even have a patch right here, I always have to fill in because I'm missing a little bit of hair. That's totally okay. It's kind of however you want your brow to be shaped. But I go down, and this is why I say I go with a super light hand, especially on the tail, because it's going to make it look more natural and thinner at the end. It's not going to be as fat, okay? So I just super, super lightly brush it out down here. And as I'm going, I kind of lift up so it gets really skinny. You know what I mean? If you go in with a heavy hand, it's going to be a really thick, bold, dark line down here, and it's not going to look near as natural unless you go in with a light hand. So always do that. Let's go over here, and I will show you guys what I wouldn't do, which is going in with a super heavy hand, okay? And I didn't brush my brow up, so it's even harder to kind of see where the bottom of my brow is because some of my hairs are like distracting from that. So let's go with the super heavy hand, okay? Like, I can't, this is hard for me to do it the wrong way because it bothers me so bad and I'm not used to doing it. Okay, so super heavy hand. Do you see? I mean, obviously, look at that. Now, does that look nice? I mean, if it looks good to you, that's fine. Like I said, if this side is how you guys want to do your eyebrows, that's how you want to do it. That's totally fine. But let's even zoom in so maybe you can see it better. Can you tell now? Okay, so heavy, heavy hand. This is what I would not do. Remember, this is the don't side. Okay. Actually, I made that tail not look that bad. But see how much lighter this is? Like, we're going to have a hard time making that look right in a minute, okay? Because that's so dark and thick of a line. That's not very natural at all. So, now I go to the top, okay? And I always make sure I stop right here when I line the top because I want these hairs to come up and be able to kind of see them and look as natural as can be right here. I always want the tail to be darker than here. I want it to go from lighter to darker. It just looks more natural to me to have like it be lighter color on the inside, if that makes sense. You can see more hair, so then it looks more natural than if you just like Sharpie it in and make a big square and color it all dark. Does that make sense? And I'll show you at the end. You'll kind of get it once you see this bad brow. So let's go to the top. I always start right here. Okay, I don't start at the end. I definitely don't go all the way in. Don't do that. I start right here. And still with a light hand, you guys. Always, always, always with a light hand. And then I kind of make my little curve. You can make it pointer. You can make it more of like a round. It doesn't have to be near sharp. It's however you like it to look. But this is just kind of the angle I like to do it at. And I'm still going with a super, super light hand. And I kind of go down here and I meet with the tail. And I clean that up and make this look a lot better with the pomade, with my brush. It's going to darken it up, fill it in better, and that sort of thing. But that at least kind of tells me where I want the outline of my brow to be. And then I take my pencil, super, super light hand, the lightest you can be without not touching your brow, and kind of feather up, you know what I mean, to kind of like mock the natural direction of my eyebrows hairs right there. So see how I kind of filled that in just enough to like compare it to this one. See how patchy it looks for my natural hair, and then I just barely added color there to kind of fill it in. Like I said, we'll go back through more with the pomade, but I always start with a brow pencil. Some people only use brow pencils, some people only use pomades. I have found I can make my brow look the most natural, and the easiest way for me to do it is with a pencil and a pomade, because the pencil kind of outlines where I want to go and kind of starts it for me, and the pomade is like the awesome tool that fills it in and makes it look as natural and nice and clean as it can. So let's go to the Don't eyebrow, okay? And we're going to go in with a super heavy hand, and I'm going to do something that I have never done on my eyebrows before, which is go all the way over. We're gonna start here, and we're gonna go all the way, and it's gonna hurt my heart so bad. I love my eyebrows, and I've never once done them like this, but I have seen it done, and I don't know. I'm just saying, when I learned eyebrows, I watched a bunch of girls on YouTube, and the really, really, really good ones, the really, really natural, nice looking brows that I always saw, they would never go all the way over. Like, they'd always leave it natural looking right there. That's how I learned. So I'm just showing you guys. Like I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but this is how I would never do it. So heavy hand, and we're going to go all the way over. Instead of starting here and not filling in right here like I did in this one, we're just going to go here and go all the way. We're going to go all the way with a heavy hand. So, oh God, this is not going to be nice. Like I said, if this is how you like it, this is how you like it, okay? I'm not trying to hate on anybody for their brows, but we're gonna make it, y'all. This isn't looking cute, so don't do it. Definitely. If you want to fill your eyebrows in like this and come all the way over, at least do me a favor and don't have a heavy hand. Hold on one second. They need my help. Hold on. Okay, I'm so sorry. They're working outside, and I had to answer the door and help them for a second. Okay, so, y'all, I can't stand to look at myself like this. Look at this. All right, so that was with a heavy hand, and we went all the way over. Unlike this one, for those of you just hopping on, you can say hi. Hi, guys. I went to right here. I leave this part looking more natural, okay? So now, and we'll even do it with a pencil over here, too. I see a lot of people do this. Square it off. In my opinion, this makes it look like you Sharpied in your eyebrows, and I don't love it, but this is how I would not do it. See how square and unnatural that looks? I mean, I'm just saying that's too dark. It's too heavy of a hand. This does not look natural. This definitely looks like you drew in your eyebrow. So now let's go in with the pomade. Okay, I'm going to do the good one first. We're going to go with a little tiny bit of product and not a whole lot, just a little amount on here. You can add more always add more, but you can't take away. Remember that. Hold on, I need some coffee. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing basically like we did with the pencil. We're going to start lining the bottom, and I'm going to go in with a really light hand. Like, I cannot emphasize to you guys enough, I wish you could feel how lightly my hand is brushing across my brow right now to make it the most natural, lightest looking line that I possibly can. Now, when I make it to the tail, it's okay to be a little darker, a little more filled in, because I like my tail to look that way. Like, I like it to be like a nice, sharp, obvious tail on my eyebrow, if that makes sense. But I'm still just doing a little bit of product, and I'm going to go in here and kind of start to fill this tail in. Maybe. Okay. And I'm going to go to the top here to the corner of my brow, or the arch of my brow, and meet the bottom part of my tail here. Super light hand. And when I get to the end of my tail, you guys probably can't tell from the video, but I'm literally like lifting my brush up. slowly lifting it off my face. This takes practice. Like, I mean, unless you're just super awesome and perfect, you probably won't be able to do it exactly the way you want to on the first 10 tries. I mean, I literally practiced my eyebrows every single day for the longest time to figure out how I liked it. I didn't do it just like one time and had it perfect, okay? It took practice. So unfortunately, it takes practice, but see how much more natural that looks compared to how that's already looking over there. And then I just slowly fill in this way. Just light brushes or strokes with the brush. And I'm going to go all the way over here with this to right there. Not all the way over, remember. We don't go all the way over. It keeps it looking more natural that way when you can see your natural hairs brushed up. I honestly, this is pretty normal sized eyebrow that I do. Sometimes I get a little too crazy and I overline a little bit, and that's okay. It doesn't look awful. And you can kind of fix it with concealer sometimes, but like I said, it just takes practice. I don't ever, like 99% of the time, don't ever use concealer to correct my eyebrows because I've done it so much. I draw it on and I like the way it looks and I don't need to correct it. So the more practice you get, the easier it'll be for you, 100%. Now, as I go in towards the inner part of my brow, I go with an even lighter hand. I don't add more product onto the brush because I don't want it to be dark. I want it to still be lighter. It looks a lot more natural and you can see more of my natural hair. So down here, I'm still going to kind of fill in, lightly brushing, but right here for the rest of my brow, I go up. I do light strokes with the brush up to kind of mimic or mock my natural hair. Because, you know, your natural hair goes up like that, or mine do. Anyway, I'm following the natural shape and direction of my natural hair, okay? Very, very lightly. I didn't add any more product, so it's just whatever's left on the brush. See how light that is and how it kind of naturally goes darker. And you can even make the tail darker than this. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I get a little carried away and make it a little too dark, but my hair is obviously a darker brown, okay? It's not, I feel like it looks darker in the videos than it does in person. It's not the darkest brown. It's all your preference. If you're blonde hair, you can have light brown eyebrows. You can have darker brown eyebrows if you like it that way. But I try to make it as dark as I can because I like my brows to look darker. If you guys are hopping on, you can say hey. You can ask me questions. If you don't understand something I'm doing, something I'm using, and maybe I can explain it better, please, please, please say so. Because I love getting questions, especially about my eyebrows. My husband will always tell people, he jokes around anytime we go somewhere and somebody's like, oh my gosh, your eyebrows look so good. Where did you get them done? He's like, oh God, you just made her day. I am obsessed with my eyebrows. I know that sounds dumb, and some people are like, I don't care about eyebrows. They're nothing. But honestly, I feel like especially when I do a full face of makeup, if you don't have eyebrows on, you're looking weird. Like, eyebrows are a really important feature on your face, in my personal opinion. So if you have a full face of makeup on and your eyebrows are like non-existent, I just feel like it doesn't look right. You know what I mean? Like, on a day like today when I'm really not going to wear any makeup, if I don't do my eyebrows and I'm just sitting at home, that's okay. It doesn't bother me. But when I go out, even if I have no makeup on my face whatsoever, I still have to do my eyebrows. That's how crazy I am about it. Okay. So now let's do the don't eyebrow. Okay, so this is what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't go in with a bunch of product. I wouldn't go in with a super heavy hand. And I definitely wouldn't have filled it in this way like we did. Okay, this literally looks like Sharpie on my face, but it's fine. So I'm going to go in with a bunch of product on this brush and show you guys like heavy hand, a lot of brow filler on this pomade, and it's not going to be looking cute, but we can, you know what, we can even overline the brow a little bit to kind of show you how exaggerated and crazy you can get if you put too much product and you overline your brow too much. So see how much thicker I just made that in like 2 seconds with all that extra product and just overfilling a little bit. So you gotta watch Like, see? Like, literally that took me a second to make that eyebrow way too big. Okay? Thick amount of product, heavy hand, and this is what you'll get. All right? You'll look like you Sharpied your brow on real quick. That's why a light hand is so important in anything you do, okay? Eyeshadow, blush, highlighter, whatever. You want to go in with a light hand, a little bit of product, because you can always add more product as you go. But definitely with eyebrows. So see how, like, I'm just going to outline the bottom with a heavy hand and a lot of product, okay? And that's what we're looking like. Then I'm going to go up here, even more product, okay? We're just like caking the product on. And we're going to line the top. We're going to fill this tail in. I will say I've been seeing people with a lot of questions about like brow powders to fill in instead of like pencils or pomades or whatever. And if you like the way that the powder looks on your brows, that's great. But I feel like I can make a more natural looking eyebrow and a more like flawless looking eyebrow with a pencil and a pomade, okay? Like I said, some people just use pencil. Some people use the brow powder. Some people even just use a pomade. But I feel like together, the pencil outlining it to kind of help show you where to put the pomade, and then adding the pomade on top with that extra color and darkening it up looks so nice. And I just feel like I can really get control and good shape with a brush than anything. So we're gonna add more and more product, and we're gonna fill in. Oh, this crushes my soul to do my eyebrows like this. But I've seen so many girls. Now, this might be a little exaggerated, okay? I'm not seeing people do brows this bad necessarily, but I do see tons of people, they just fill in their brow all one color, and they fill it in up to here, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a square, and it looks Sharpied on, and that's just not natural looking, in my opinion. In my personal opinion. Okay, can we compare these for a second? And some people are like, oh, I can go in and I can conceal that and fix it. I really like, I mean, we can try to add concealer to like thin this brow out a little bit, but you're going to end up with like a mess, a bad mess. So that's why I say start with a little bit, start with a light hand, okay? Work on trying to keep your brow thinner, because you can always widen it up. I can always go back in and try to make my brow look thicker, but like I said, you can't make that look smaller unless you get some really good concealer, and even then you're just gonna have like a big old mess, okay? So even if, meet me down to pick up lag bolts. I don't know what that is. Sorry, my husband's messaging me about the project that we're doing. Okay, JD, I'm about to get off here, so I'll meet you. But do you guys see the difference? Seriously, this is like super thick, way too dark. Let's look. Okay, let me zoom out. I'm just saying, you guys see me walk around, even if the brow was thinner, you see me walk around town, you see how dark, obviously dark and like sharp of a line that is. And I could have made this tail look worse, because I have seen some girls with worse eyebrow tails that are super thick, and then they try to go in and fix it with concealer and it just makes more of a mess. That's what I'm saying. Start with a little bit, start with a light hand, practice, and you won't have to worry about correcting with concealer, okay? I promise once you practice it enough and you try it enough, it's not as hard as it seems. I promise. So see how much nicer and natural. Like, if you saw me from this distance, you'd probably, like, not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but you'd probably think this was my natural brow. Or that I went somewhere and I got it, what do they call it, threaded or whatever. I've had so many girls say, do you get your eyebrows threaded? Where do you go? Do you get your eyebrows waxed? I do not let anybody touch my eyebrows. I tweeze my eyebrows, okay? I have one of these, like, what are they called? These little razor things, and I'll use it to get like some of the extra like hairs up here or something, and like my little unibrow there. But I don't wax, I don't thread, I don't do any of that stuff, mostly because I don't trust people, and I'd be way too afraid somebody would wax off my eyebrow too thin or too short or something. So I'm just saying, if you practice it enough, you'll get so good it doesn't even matter. You can just tweeze your own brows. It's cheaper. You'll save money if you just do your own brows yourself. But anyway, you guys can let me know if you have questions. Like I said, my natural shape is pretty good. I don't have to kind of create my own shape too much, but my brows aren't super thick. So I definitely need help with that always. This up here definitely always needs help, needs filled in. But you can ask me questions or shoot me a picture of your eyebrows and what the shape looks like, and I can try to give you some helpful tips. But I hope this kind of helped you guys see the difference of what I'm always talking about, going in with a light hand to compare. You don't want your eyebrow to be super dark. Okay, like even if you just look at the tail of this compared to the tail of this one, see how much darker that looks? And this is still dark, but it looks more natural. Okay, so hopefully that made sense for you guys. I need to get off here so we can go get things done. But let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully maybe on Wednesday I can go live with like more makeup. Or if you guys want to see a certain look or a certain eyeshadow or whatever, let me know. But if you have more questions about brows, comment it on here, message me. If you want to private message me, that's totally fine. I will be checking my phone today so I can answer your questions, okay? But hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you thought it was, or maybe you didn't think it was helpful, and that's okay too. Maybe you don't care about eyebrows like I do. But I hope you guys have a really, really good day, and I will be talking to you really soon.